Hello everyone, Chris Gaming here and welcome back to another video, and I'm going to have to start this video off with a confession. I've done this multiple times by now and I'm going to do it again. But this one's a bit of a bigger one and it does actually affect things a lot more. I'm going to be honest right now. After the Russian Grand Prix and the Spanish Grand Prix, which I did record, I was not enjoying the Mana Career mode at all. I had really fallen out with it, to be honest. The car just was absolutely nowhere after that Grand Prix. We just lost all pace and the AI was so much faster than me. So I came to a conclusion. I wasn't going to struggle and end up 19th every single Grand Prix because that's not going to be very good in viewership. So here we are. I moved up to the Haas Formula 1 team and hopefully it's going to give everybody a bit more of a show where we're actually to compete with the cars a bit earlier so we're not struggling. Same rules apply as before. 25% races and 25% races, and I'm going to put it down to a short qualifying. But just for the sake of these, what I did was go through the first lap and simulated all of the races. But I will still keep the old results and keep everything in a custom table to reveal to you throughout the season. But let's get on with the video.
Hey, good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
So yeah, we got an upgrade after the last Grand Prix in Russia, ready for this Grand Prix. We decided to go with downforce, where we have got the monkey seat part fitted, which I believe intensifies the exhaust gases and helps with the downforce. I believe more at the rear than the front, but I don't think this game's that advanced and it just has an overall effect. And again, Ferrari bringing two upgrades specifically to the Spanish Grand Prix as well as McLaren Honda. But they always seem to do it at this Grand Prix and they always end up super fast by the end of it. So I wonder, are they going to take pole again and are they going to possibly win again? Well, there's a question for the race.
To the circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia for the Spanish Grand Prix. Over the next few minutes, the teams will be heading out onto this classic Formula One track for what we're expecting to be a very hectic practice session.
So they're getting into the practice sessions and really having to get to grips now with our new car. How can I comment on the Haas? Well, it has some very nice straight line speed, and the controllability, however, the controllability of it it's very unstable. It's really, really unstable. And our getting used to the car under actual pressure didn't get helped by this. Thanks a lot, Hulkenberg. Can we have another look at that, please? You see, this is just what you want, you know, when you're practicing, you got a brand new car, and you want to get to grips with it. Yeah, this is exactly what you want. You want a German Force India spinning you out. Nothing against Germans, just Hulkenberg spinning me out there. Wasn't happy about that, but we did manage to just fix that. Flashback. And complete the tyre management on a green score, which was nice, getting that to a clean end. And now on to the qualifying pace. Bit of a normal session as well. I didn't think we were going to do that well because we weren't that much up on the Delta, but coming around the final corner, Ricciardo peeling off into the pit lane there. Hit the curve, that was a mistake, ran too wide there. But we ended up purple on the first lap, which I really was not expecting at all for the practice session. And yeah, it was a very good result in the end. We got enough resource points to continue. So yeah, coming into hospitality area, nice amount of resource points. And we decided that at the end of all that, we were going to buy fuel efficiency because it doesn't seem like the biggest upgrade, but it may come into handy when we want to run that rich mix for just 1 or 2 laps longer in the race, specifically in Monaco, because that's obviously going to be when the upgrade applies.
Hi, it's Emma. Your qualifying goals came up in the board meeting this morning. Here's what to expect.
See, those are our qualifying recommendations, as such to say. Qualify 10th or higher, beat Ricciardo, our rival, which I was not looking forward to, and to beat Rowan Grosjean. Just a quick comment on the simulated races. Some of them went a bit over the top of the results. Australia was 4th, I believe. Bahrain was 5th. China was 7th. But Russia, I simulated that and won the race. I'm really glad I'm keeping a custom table and keeping into context my 4 mana scores that I got. But anyway, on to qualifying. Or at least it would be on to qualifying if the heat hadn't frazzled the mind of an idiot and he didn't record the qualifying results, so he couldn't do all the extra camera angles you see with the qualifying report. That's just brilliant. You know, let's just move on to the race and forget that this ever happened. But eventually we qualified 15th. Wasn't the best session. I just can't seem to get any qualifying pace around Spain. So as we are on the grid now for the Spanish Grand Prix, loading up a setup. Thank you TRL Limitless for that one. Not to say that I was trying, well, kind of going try-hard or something in this race, but I didn't want to have another repeat of a terrible Grand Prix. So I was making sure that I was going to do good on this one. Decided to start on the medium so we could run the softs later and be much more aggressive at the end of the Grand Prix when the car's lighter. And it's just running that little extra fuel. But let's get on to those 5 red lights. Well, so here are those 5 red lights. They're coming on now. We have 4. We have 5. Lights out and away we go for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. We've had a pretty average start, it must be said. Trying to get past our old buddy Hulkenberg. Don't collide like we did in practice, please. We are good through that. And now down towards turn 1. We will take a miracle to beat Daniel Ricciardo, our rival, of course. Because of the altered results this season. Getting past Alonso there on the left-hand side. Having to stick it up the inside there. And that's that was Ricciardo, I think. I believe that was Ricciardo off at the beginning of this Grand Prix. Verstappen's behind us. Wow. Who expected that one at the beginning of this Grand Prix? I'm watching here. Here comes Ricciardo. He's following, actually no, side by side with Valtteri Bottas. Through turn 3. Trying to hold it around the outside. He chooses the wider line. I think there's a bit of contact there. I think he's hit a secondary car. But who has he hit? Or who has hit him more? There's the first bit of contact. And the second is Max Verstappen. The Red Bulls make contact. Well, rule number 1. Don't hit your teammate. I thought this was established from day 1, Max. But regardless, moving on. And then the middle of lap 1, we get past Valtteri Bottas in the Williams. We're up to P5 now. So we just have to hold our own now, hold this position, and we have a very good result for the Spanish Grand Prix. Considering this is actually quite a difficult circuit, the AI seem to be very, very quick around here. They seem to gain a massive amount of pace, and that's not because of upgrades, because only Ferrari and McLaren, as I said, bought upgrades. As speaking of which, here comes Valtteri Bottas at the inside. He's trying to hold it up the inside, and we make contact. Wow. You know what I said in Russia about us, we can't go a race without making contact with a car, and the last one with Verstappen was the most spectacular? That wasn't the most spectacular, but we're living up to it, and Monaco's next. I don't think the streak's going to stop. Luckily, no damages I don't think has been done to either car yet, and there you go. He just gets tagged, and Alonso drives into him. Oh dear, that is not very good for Fernando Alonso at all there. Both have damage, both are going to pit very soon. But on to lap 5 now. We have Vettel leading Rosberg, Raikkonen and Hamilton. Or is it Vettel and Hamilton in the lead? It's Vettel and Hamilton in the lead, sorry. And they both come into the pits on this lap. Okay then. Maranello versus Brackley here in the round of the pit stops. Here they come up to the box. Who's going to get out first? We're going to find out. Tyres go on Vettel's car. And he's been held. And Hamilton gets out in front of the former Red Bull driver and the quadruple world champion. Here comes Verstappen up the inside trying to get hers for P3 now since the pit stops started to take place. Up the inside goes the Dutchman. Almost. I think might have been a contact there, but luckily no more spins unlike earlier with Valtteri Bottas. And we managed to keep our cool there. On to the next lap. Raikkonen and Rosberg are now in. Reacting obviously to their teammates' pit stops. Let's see what happens this time. And again, Ferrari hold their driver for the Mercedes. And you can see there in the background, Max Verstappen comes in on the same lap. But that is very, very poor from Ferrari. But regardless, we are in P1 now. We actually lead this Grand Prix just for a little bit of time while we go up and complete our medium tyre stint. Because all of them started on soft tyres, obviously being in the top 10. So going on now all the way to our pit stop lap on lap 11. Going into the pits now. Very fast entry, it must be said, in slowing down for the markers. That was good, no penalty. And now moving on down the pit lane, heading for the box. Just waiting for it now. Here it comes, and there's our box. Slick first video stop by Manor. And now on to the following lap. We are following Max Verstappen. We pick up the DRS going into the hairpin, I believe, of turn 10, up the inside, and we hold the move. We get the move done, sorry, on Max Verstappen for P5 now. And that should be us secured for the rest of the Grand Prix. And it was, because nothing more happened now. We just had to extend the gap and make sure the Dutchman couldn't overtake us for the rest of this Grand Prix. Because if he got a chance, he'd go for it because he wanted revenge after what happened at the Russian Grand Prix, getting very frustrated at us. But regardless, we just had to extend the gap, and we did that immediately by sending the fastest lap on the same lap that we overtook Verstappen. And now as we move on the same lap, Vettel and Rosberg fighting for the lead. They have Valtteri Bottas to contend with as a lapped car. After his earlier incident, he's being lapped in this Grand Prix. Here comes the Germans. They are both trying to overtake the Williams, but he's not getting out of the way in time. He's going to get out in the middle of the corner. This is not ideal for either driver. We've got team radio now from Sebastian Vettel.
Come on, blue flag! Otherwise I get stuck.
Vettel getting very frustrated, it must be said, behind the Williams, and finally into turn 4. He overtakes the Williams, and Bottas is now holding up Nico Rosberg, so the time lost by Vettel is minimal because of that. And now here we go, on to the final lap now. I'm sorry we haven't got us for this lap, but this is way more exciting, you have to say. And behind, Raikkonen and Hamilton were squabbling over third place. And I can just say now, Raikkonen ended up getting third. Here comes Rosberg in the DRS. He's trying to move up the inside. And a very nice camera angle to capture this moment. Nico Rosberg takes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix on the final lap as Mercedes just looking that little bit behind Ferrari the whole weekend. And here they come on the final lap, and that should have sealed the deal. And it did seal the deal for Nico Rosberg, but Sebastian Vettel was about to be punched right in the teeth, and just insult to injury, engine failure over the line. Luckily he did cross the line, but the game didn't classify him, and this is partly why I wanted to make a custom table. This is what it looked like from our point of view. So obviously we're heading through the final sector. Watch at the top of the screens. Okay, it says that Nico Rosberg, right there, it says that he's won the Grand Prix. Yellow flags come out, Sebastian Vettel out of the race, and you'll just see how far he did actually get across. It was basically exactly as he crossed the line. Did he have the engine failure? You just see him on the left. There he is. The Ferrari beats the side of the circuit. But we came home in a respectable 5th place, and I will catch up with you after Crofty and Davidson have finished their conversations, and I will explain to you what's in the custom table, and also just a bit of a talk, basically. Yeah, I'll hand over, whenever they want to David Croft and Anthony Davidson.
A great win then for the Maranello team today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
So here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
Now you see, now it's classed Vettel as winning, but he was behind the whole time. And you see it says there, it says DNF, and he's getting given 0 points, so the whole thing is messed up. So what I'm going to do, what I'm doing right now I should say, is I have a custom table going. I'm going to keep track of all the scores from the season. And I'm just going to keep track of it. So Nico Rosberg has actually won that race from Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen, Lewis Hamilton and myself. Then it's Verstappen, Massa, Grosjean, Kvyat and Perez. Has team looking very competitive for the near future. Just what a mad Grand Prix that has to be. It's annoying with the timing thing glitching out, but that's the way it goes, I guess. You have to live with it.
I've been talking about your contract, and we all agree the only thing better than a number 2 driver is a number 1 driver. Here are the details.
And just to add a beautiful topping to the cake, we get a team promotion. So now we are number 1 driver, and we will get extra resource points throughout each weekend to upgrade the car even further still. But thank you all very much for watching this video. If you did, we'll pick up it next time when we move on to the Principality of Monaco. I'll see you then, guys. Goodbye.